As of right now, the plan is simple. We're heading to the Red Bull Ring here for round 11 of this 2025 F1 calendar. I don't remember where we left off exactly. I remember we won the race at Silverstone in an exciting last lap battle between Pierre and Lando for the win there. We head now to Austria for some more fun. Current projects, we have a chassis research going as well as a side pod and suspension design. So those are going to be done here in a little bit. But other than that, I don't think we have anything. Teo has a development point. Go ahead and do that. Any staff development points? Does not look like it. We are training tire changes with the pit crew, and we will continue on. Our factory refurb is completed. The board has high confidence in us, as they should. Our car just does pretty well everywhere except for brake and engine cooling, but we kind of accept that. And really, I think that's kind of it for between race weekends here. We'll go ahead and get our qualifying position 2 into Q2 set up. We're gonna go ahead and do a finish position of 2 in the top 8. And we have our finish position streak and qualifying position streak going as well. Love to see it. Let's go to Austria race weekend. It's going to be damp fairly immediately. So we are going to be like
rain still coming,
many others, and get our guys out nice and early. Carter, welcome in. How are you this fine Friday evening, Saturday morning? I can't speak for everyone. How are you doing? You're catching us in our first round of the night when apparently it's gonna get wet anytime. You know, can't complain. A long week of work. I'm excited to sit down on a Friday evening, play some F1 Manager, and enjoy every single moment of it. I have my, I don't know if you can tell, my parents got me this for Christmas. I have my 2023 race calendar shirt on, even though you can ignore this one because that one is probably not there. But we are vibing. We're in the midst of a championship season and loving everything about it. Russell probably maybe out here, by the way. Other than that, Kevin out would be, Vettel out would be tough. Doohan would be having an absolute nightmare if he doesn't make it out here. Thankfully, we got out ahead of the rain, and so we don't have to worry about it. George Russell does not improve. George Russell out in Q1. Doohan also out, which is a shame for him, but Yuki up here in P9. We're gonna try and get a good window. We're gonna try and set some good banker times on a new set of soft tires, and hopefully that'll be enough to put us through. It really should, if we're being entirely honest. There's the rain. We're good to go. We are safely through. Yes, we are. Even though we are the Haas, we are flying this season. We may have the old, what we've dubbed the poopy point system, which is the only points for first through sixth, and we have no point for pole, no point for fastest lap, no double points at the end of the season. You only get points for finishing in the top 6, and we are actually kind of dominating. We'll give an update because I feel like it's been a minute since we've actually looked. So far, Pierre Gasly leading the drivers, more than doubling up Max Verstappen by 40 points now. 40 points. Hanging out in third in a spitting distance from Max. And then in the constructors, we are 46, I can do math, 46 points ahead in a system where the maximum points you can get in a weekend as a constructor is 16. So we are cruising right now. we're feeling pretty good about things this season as we near literally the midway points so far. Is it going to be a wet Q3? No, again. Fascinating. All right, once again, we're going to go out on a new set of soft tires to see if we can get a cheeky early lap in.
Radio check.
No, it is going to be dry all the way through. Just double check. This is going to be dampened 14 minutes, which is after the session is over. So we have a regular quali session for Q3, which I'm actually very okay with. We'll send Mick out nice and early. Send Pierre out in that gap and hope that we can get a decent lap in here. We shall. Mick going purple, well, was purple first sector until Pierre took it from him. Pierre goes purple middle sector. I think Verstappen is going to be our only hurdle for a pole position here, and a potential, if we can time it right, if we can, you know, really nail this, a Haas front row lockout.
Looks like there's been a lockout.
You know, I remember when the game first came out, I saw all the people being like, get Pierre, he's like super overpowered. I agree. Gasly is very good if you get him in a good car. He's pretty good if you get him in a decent car. I really shied away from bringing him in immediately because I kind of wanted to have an air of like realism to the series. And so we ended up waiting until after the second season ended to pick up Pierre because we needed to make a change. The end of the second season was probably one of the most frustrating things ever because Kevin, I still had Kevin and Mick because like, again, I wanted an air of realism. And so, but at the end of the second season, Kevin Magnussen was like the worst, to the point where we decided to keep Mick, bin Kevin, pick up Pierre because he was at the end of his contract with, I can't remember where we stole him from, but we stole him from someone and like just absolutely like grabbed him like out of nowhere, basically. We really got to pay attention to the time here. Yes. Oh, frick. Yes, Leclerc at Red Bull was the surprise of this offseason. Perez also going to McLaren was the other end of that deal. Both of my drivers are about to miss the line, by the way. I really miscalculated the timing on this one. Haven't done this in a really long time. Let's really hope that... oh, and they're all on fresh tires. Oh, God. Pain and suffering. That's all I know. Watch the front row lockout be taken from me by this man. We'll watch him cross the line. I haven't done this in at least 2 seasons, by the way. That was a severe miscalculation. He doesn't take it. Bottas, where's Bottas? Let's go! Let's go! Master plan. All part of the Haas master plan. Woo. Sure. We got lucky. We got very lucky right there. If we weren't starting first and second, I probably would put Mick on the hard to medium. But since we're both on the front row, gotta start on the best tire possible. Let's go Austria Grand Prix. Front row lockout for Haas. Let's see how this bad boy shakes out.
The crowd are ready.
Oh, look at it. It's a beautiful sight.
It's the Austrian
Haas
Grand
on the
Prix.
front row.
And it's lights out. And away we go.
And away we go. Beautiful stuff. The pace car, baby. Look at that. A first and a second for the lads. Tire check. Verstappen on the hards, by the way. Verstappen on the hards. Bottas and Leclerc also on the hards. Okay, a lot more people on the hards than I was expecting. Ocon and Sainz both on the hards, down in P12 and 14, by the way. Russell down on the mediums at 19th. I don't think we really have much to worry about when it comes to them. This is going to be a fascinating race. For sure. The laddies. 2 seconds already on Verstappen, which is not too surprising. All right, we're gonna use Pierre to help Mick recharge his ERS, because DRS will be enabled. Verstappen. Oh, also look at Daniel Ricciardo, the absolute Chad, up here in P4, by the way. Daniel Ricciardo having a good start to this one. Anything else going on? Yuki in P8 normally would be very good for that Williams, but unfortunately still outside the points. Zane Maloney in the AlphaTauri up there in P10. Lando outside the top 10 and on P11. We kind of already talked about Doohan had been doing really well in this series so far. Just unfortunately looks like I think he was one of the ones that got caught out in Q1 or the rain. I mean, according to British in my who stops by sometimes, he's a regular in my chat for this. He is either a current F3 driver or is making his debut in F2 this season in real life. So apparently he's just one of those up and coming guys. Apparently he's doing okay. At least AlphaTauri at some point in this alternate F1 universe in 2025 figured he'd be good enough for a seat. Who knows? But yeah, apparently he's either returning to F3 or is moving up to F2 this season. We're kind of just vibing, right? We're 3 seconds up the road from everyone else. We definitely are faster than Ricciardo, but with Verstappen on the hards and Ricciardo on the mediums, Daniel, even in an Alpine versus a Red Bull, is gonna have enough of an advantage to keep in it, especially with as many back-to-backs there is with DRS versus no DRS in this instance. So we're kind of just chilling. I'm not even pushing their fuel really. I might push whoever's leading and maybe try and swap them out later and get it a little lower, but I also don't want to. I might push it to 1 and then push Mick to 1 and then go from there. But we're kind of chilling, not gonna lie. We have about a 4-second gap. Daniel Ricciardo doing the Haas Lord's work currently, opening up a 4-second gap to Verstappen. He's kind of taking, well, he's taking Daniel out of it because Daniel's strategy versus his is going to be back and forth. They're not really fighting each other per se, but they are. Yeah, Perez. I think we're just going to push whoever's in the lead. I think that's actually the plan. We'll just bounce back and forth with whoever's leading.
Yeah.
Balance it out that way. Hopefully it works. Let whoever's leading, really push on. Which, most of the time it's going to be Pierre. Pierre definitely has more pace than Mick. All right, it looks like Daniel is finally falling off of Verstappen a little bit. It looks like he's a little more worried about Bottas than he is about attacking Verstappen. That is looks like an Aston Martin. Van Dorn? It's usually Van Dorn. Dude, Van Dorn has had an absolute nightmare of a season this year. It's been really bad. Checo! No!
Control and
Uh-oh. Oh, right into turn 4. Oof. That's not where you want to be spinning, Checo. Alright, Pierre, we are done pushing on fuel. We might leave Mick on push fuel until he hits that +1 kilogram delta. But a seventh of the way into this race, and it's going pretty well so far. There's also an interesting thing in this channel, and it's going to be interesting to see if it continues on today, in that in this series, any day that British is not in my chat, we do very well. And so if we manage to continue on this trajectory and we do very well, I might have to ban the most active person in my chat when it comes to F122, just to save our skin at Haas, just because we can't afford not to, you know? Because there was one day, it was on Monday. Was it Monday? It might have been Monday or last Friday, where he missed. And we win like 3 races in a row with Pierre won. Pierre won 2 races in a row, and back-to-back races were a 1-2 for Haas. And then he showed up the next day. Pierre still won the next 3 races, but there were mistakes all over the place. Like absolutely like crazy levels of mistakes. That really made it more interesting, and I don't understand how he does it, but that's just how it goes. And I don't understand how he does it. Even in one of my YouTube videos I put up for actually Red Bull Ring last season, I think I titled it like Black Magic. It was something about Black Magic and how that like almost ruins our race or something like that. Bottas running wide. Oh, I missed it. I would have seen it. I missed it. Oh, right into the gravel. Oh, he's falling right back into Yuki's hands. Is that Yuki? No, Zhou. It was Zhou. It looked like Yuki, unless Zhou just, I don't know. That was crazy. I don't know. Verstappen is defending like a madman against Ricardo right here, by the way. Just an absolute mad lad. Good Mick with a little bit of pace today. We'll drop them both down. Pierre is built back up. Who was it? Who done it? You.
Seems to have been a lockup.
Oh, Stroll. Get strolled. You strolled yourself. How does it feel, Lance? You strolled yourself. All right, it looks as though... Who done it? You. Ferrari. Sainz.
Oh, they've run wide.
Carlos. Dude, Carlos is having a nightmare of a season as well. Oh, he did the same thing. Oh, he did the same thing.
Now they're paying the price.
Oh, Carlos. Dude, Ferrari is having a nightmare this season. Like, they're having an absolute mare of a season. Come on, Daniel. Keep fighting. Pressurize that lad. Very interesting. Any other fun battles going on? We have Zhou, who is trying to catch Bottas, but also defending from Leclerc. Looks like he's more worried about defending Leclerc than he is attacking Valtteri. They are on the same tire, so there's that. Leclerc thinks about it into turn 1, doesn't make the move, pulls out of the slipstream again. DRS lap opening, but Zhou also with DRS is going to defend that position well enough. Everyone, this is the problem with Austria when you really get down and boil it down, in that with so many DRS zones back to back to back, it's so hard to really attack. And even in this section, this middle of the track section right here, there's not really many good overtaking zones. Like the only overtaking zones are turns 1, 3, and 4. And other than that, there's not a whole lot you can really do here if you're Leclerc. Zhou though, back to pressuring Valtteri. We'll hop back on board with him. Yellow. Oh, who done it? Dude, the Aston Martins are just having an absolute nightmare.
Someone's locked up.
They're having an absolute nightmare. I don't understand. Joe, going for it. DRS opening into turn one, will not pull out and make the move. I think Bottas is on the hards. He is on the hards. And the tire jag in this race is just non-existent, which I guess is kind of to be expected when there's basically three straights. Like three, you got what, the start pit straight, the second straight, the back straight, and like the run down to like the final two right-handers to get back to the main straight, where it's not a whole lot you really could do to really wear down the tires much. As we get, well, we're looking at lap 29. As we get closer to our pit stops, we're going to determine who gets the first pit stop based entirely on who is going to get DRS going down the start finish straight. That is going to be that's going to be how we decide who gets the first pit stop. Because we want to give that person as much of an advantage as we can. Speed it up here a little bit as well, as we're kind of just biding our time at this point.
I think we've had a car run.
Oh, Leclerc having a nightmare down to P8. Yuki, one spot outside the points. Can he make it work though? That is the question. We have entered the pit window. So we're still here watching Verstappen versus Daniel, which isn't even really much of a fight because they are on two completely different strategies and in two completely different races in the grand scheme of things. Sector 2, who done it? Oh, that's a Mercedes. Russell.
Is that a lockup?
Dude.
Here's the replay. Now let's
All
look at
the
this.
teams
Here's
fighting
George
us,
Russell.
all on his own, not even being pressured, just
Heavy on the brakes, and they've locked up.
runs straight, runs true. Daniel doing a really good job of defending against Verstappen here. Medium tire will do wonders against that hard, but the mediums are going to start falling off a little bit. Although, I mean, the hards are still are into the low 70s, at least for Verstappen. So there is that, but interesting. I imagine we'll start seeing medium runners pitting soon. Likely this lap. Here's where we're going to determine, we'll hop back on board with us. Here's where we're going to determine who gets to pit, likely at the end of the next lap. As whoever basically is leading into the, I can't remember what turn this is. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Just ignore for right now. I don't know. Whoever's leading into this back straights where the Astons are now is going to pit first. Hopefully giving the other one DRS in the process. It looks like Mick is going to be leading. Alright, Mick is leading, which means we box for hards. Now Mick. Pierre, I'm also going to go ahead and set his up. But then we're going to come back in here and delay by 1 lap. And we continue on. As it looks like Daniel did indeed pit. So now Verstappen in a bit of clean air. The problem is he has a 12.3 second gap to go here. As Mick into the box. He goes, will likely come out behind Verstappen, hopefully not too far either. Oh, get out in front of that group, Mick. Oh, he falls down a lot further than I was really hoping he would. Alright, Pierre is going to be in the box this lap. Mick, you are 1.7, 1.9, 2 seconds off Let's see if we can close up that 1 second gap to Sonoda ahead and see if we can make something happen here. Dude, our pit box is so far away, it's ridiculous. Is he gonna come? Do we overcut or undercut ourselves? They come out side by side. Mick will hold the lead. Actually gonna deploy Mick a little bit. Oh, he gives Pierre DRS. Actually, never mind. Gasly makes the move. Oh, we're watching our drivers fight. Oh, you don't want to fight here. All right, they are back within DRS of Sonoda. So, honestly, at this point, I'm totally content to just get dragged along by these hard tires ahead of us. So, Farmer, I'm okay just doing this. We're gonna try and keep as much of a tire delta as possible throughout this race, should we need to make a push down the stretch. And we're well within a pit stop of Verstappen at this point, thanks to that like 12 to 13 second gap we had initially. So I think at this point we are entirely content to just be here. We'll likely even have a little more natural pace than Yuki anyway, so if they might naturally move up even on light tires. So we're having a drag race down the back straight. Love to see it. Bottas making a move up into P2. We'll see if the Mercedes can drag this group forward closer to Verstappen. Verstappen runs a 107.9. Bottas runs a 107.3. 0.6 into the Red Bull there. Tire check. All about the same, besides us, obviously. Be interesting to see how the race continues to develop. Like I said, we're entirely content just to hang out on light tires, save that tire delta so we can really hammer it at the end, as well as with fuel and DRS. We're actually just biding our time. I'm not gonna lie though, it would be nice if Pierre or Mick wanted to make the move on the Williams and move up ahead of the Williams, because that does scare me just a little bit. Who made the mistake, by the way? Oh, dude, Russell George is having an absolute nightmare of an Austrian Grand Prix. I'm not joking. He started P19, currently P19 with down there with the Astons. That is not exactly where you want to be. Checo also having a bit of a nightmare when he ran wide earlier. Yuki though running in P4. Obviously it's not a true P4, but currently is running P4. Good for him. Like Verstappen is holding on to that lead as Zhou and Valtteri are continuing to fight. Looks like they're side by side actually. They are indeed side by side, at least they were for a good period there. We'll hop on board here as you know, we're not really doing anything too crazy. Ooh, even without DRS, Valtteri takes a brief poke into lead there. I'm also kind of hoping we can pressurize Yuki into making a mistake potentially and allow us to get up past him. But I imagine that what we did 29 laps on the medium, so we're probably getting closer-ish here in the next 5 laps. Probably is when the hard tire runners will start to box themselves. They're doing pretty a-okay. Nobody. There we go. Finally overtook Yuki, and now we're kind of going around the outside of Valtteri here. Pierre is feeling it apparently. Mick, I am again entirely okay with him just sitting behind and taking that position for free once they start boxing. I don't want him making any mistakes that we don't have to be. Pierre naturally moves himself back up into P2, and realistically we could put him back up to
Haas with an overtake.
standard tires, and he'll definitely have the pace to start breaking into that Verstappen lead. With Mick, we're entirely okay just holding on. Who made a mistake? I saw it. Verstappen made a mistake. He ran wide on turn 7. Uh-oh. Oh, dude, what a popular spot to be running wide today. Oh no. Oh no, Max. All right, back on board here with Pierre. I mean, I'm not even gonna push fuel. I mean, we have the pace. We closed up 4 full seconds at that point, and Verstappen is having an absolute nightmare now. Us with 90% hard tires, him with 58% old hard tires, him still needing to make a pit stop, us right here with them. Not gonna touch fuel. I'm not gonna touch anything I don't have to. We have the pace over Bottas, and we have the pace over Verstappen at the same time. I could potentially try and move Mick past Yuki. Might step over here and see if there's something we can do for Mick. Do it down the second. We'll do it after turn 1. We will turn up the tires a little bit though. All right, who done it? Magnussen locking up. Kevin in the bin. Oh, and we get DRS. Beautiful stuff, Mick. Beautiful stuff. Joe pits, which means the hard tire runners are likely also making their pit stop this lap or the next lap, depending on who they are. Pierre is pressurizing Verstappen like nobody I've ever seen before. Verstappen dives into the pits. We're away. Mick inherits second place, as well as the fastest lap, and we are well on our way here. In 10.7 second gap behind to Leclerc, who still has to make his stop, as well as Ocon, Norris. Ricardo will inherit P3 when all of these guys make their stops, so we are doing a-okay at this point. Leclerc dives into the box. Ocon inherits third. Ocon still has not boxed. This is going to be an interesting one. Watches Lando now going on the young Frenchman. The British versus the French, a tale as old as time. Dives down the inside and is smooth, trying to make it stick. They're going side by side through this part of the circuit that you really don't want to be going side by side. Will they both dive into the box? I would be inclined to imagine that neither. They might be doing the hard to soft one stop, which I actually find fascinating. What tires are they on? 51 and 54. 51 and 54, that's not bad. I mean, they're going to be able to go, they're probably targeting lap 55-ish, 10-ish more laps, something like that. Sounds about right. It is a very, very, very fun one. Yep, we're doing the thing. Back to this battle. Who's gonna come out on top for the last step of the podium here? They continue to battle. Tire check between these two. 61% for Bottas, 60% for Verstappen. Very close. Going to be a great battle down the stretch here. Also definitely shows the pace difference between us to Red Bull and Mercedes to everyone else, as we pulled a 7-second gap on them, granted soft tires, while they pulled a 5-second gap on, again, different tires, but effectively the same tires. Oh, someone in the bin. No! Yuki! No, Yuki, no, not like this, Yuki, no. You were in 5th, Yuki. Well, you were in 5th. I think you were hanging out in 6th, I think. Oh, Yuki, no, not like this, Yuki. Oh, my sweet boy. I was rooting for you. Only a couple of laps left here. Oh, I'm heartbroken for Yuki. Oh, he was doing so well this race. He was doing so well. What? That's a shame. That really is. Who's gonna win between Mick and we'll jump back over to that battle on the last lap. But this battle's been very entertaining to watch. Going into the final lap of the Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring, it is going to be Pierre leading Mick onto the final lap of the race. Let's see who of our drivers wants it the most. Same tires, same machinery. Who wants it? It looks like Mick is probably going to be... No, Pierre gets DRS. Uh-oh, Mick. I think that's going to do it. I think Pierre is going to come home for his win. Unless, no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We wouldn't do that to, or we wouldn't do that to Pierre. These guys earned it. They deserved it. Pierre Gasly wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Mick comes home second as well. Jump on board as Verstappen will finish off the podium. Red Bull will get a double points finish thanks to some mistakes from everyone else, but it is a Haas 1-2. Both Haas rounds out the podiums. Verstappen followed by Leclerc, followed by Zhou onto the into the points. I don't know. I don't remember if Alfa Romeo had gotten points yet this season. Something interesting to watch for sure. But that will do it for the Austrian Grand Prix here at the Red Bull Ring.
Well, this weekend, Pierre Gasly flew us to the stars.
Flew us to the stars. 1-2 for Gunther. 1-2 for Gunther. Let's go. We've gotten quite a few 1-2s this season. We are flying.
Never have a team been
Next
more
season won't
deserving
even
of a
be
podium.
that much of a drop off because we really only had a minor, there was a chassis focused technical regulation change, which even then wasn't that much. So realistically, we're going to be flying going into next year. You can't even see.
The Frenchman was in
Who's on the podium? I couldn't tell.
today,
Let's go.
deserving of his podium finish here.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. I can't wait for more.
Alongside them, of course, the other two talented drivers completing today's podium lineup.
Attaboy Valtteri, back on the podium.
As they're having a very successful day at the races.
Not bad at all. The team in the pit will be happy with that.
We're very happy with that. Yes. Williams, it's James. Yeah, I saw that. I think that's going to be very, very interesting to see, to say the least. Oh, 16 point, 11 point. Oh, fine. Yeah, I didn't either. To be fair, I didn't really know who exactly they were going to be going after. Ooh, Mick passes Verstappen in the Drivers' Championship. A Haas 1-2 in the Drivers is on the table. But yeah, I didn't really know who they would be targeting in general. But I think that's actually a really good. I think that's a really good pickup for them. I think that he'll work out pretty well for them in the long run, or at least I hope so. Chassis research is completed.